There are not many things that I firmly believe to be the best way to do something, but there is one thing I started doing some 2 years ago, and that is speed listening. Now that you've read the title and watching this video about one thing that significantly revolutionized my life as a consultant, you might be thinking it sounds super clickbait, but see this. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed I love talking about self-development and learning. Now, this is where speed listening helped me not only become more time efficient, but has allowed me to take on a lot more. Speed listening to podcasts and audiobooks at faster speeds is the sure way forward. I have been speed listening for a number of years, including audiobooks, podcasts, and even YouTube videos. So give this a go. Before we begin, click on the video settings for this video and watch this at a rate higher than the original 1x. If you are used to this, give it a go at 2 times like me, or start off with maybe 1.25. This might sound weird to begin with, but as your brain gets used to the new pace of listening, you begin to digest and retain the same information just faster. Let's look at why I believe speed listening is super beneficial and explore some of the drawbacks, which I don't personally support, but let's look at them anyway. There are 2 main benefits. One is obviously that you can consume more stuff, and though this sounds contradictory to the ideologies of mindfulness and taking life easy, listening to more things can be a good thing. I've been able to listen to 2 or even 3 times as many podcasts or YouTube videos in the same amount of time. 2 is the cost to reading more stuff. So the value I derive from listening to more content sped up in the same amount of time outweighs, in my opinion, the value derived from listening to less content at the original speed of 1x. It's so much better to read more than 1 book, so reading maybe 2 books, than 1 book slowly, in my opinion. I think the main benefit is that it reduces the time cost to listening to a podcast or YouTube. Now, if you're the sort of person who reads 3 books a year, they better be 3 great books. If you pick a fiction or read a book with a really clickbait title or something super scammy about how to become a millionaire in a year, it's possible that you may not derive as much information as you would have liked to achieve in the 3 books that you read in that 1 year. But now, if you can afford to read 20 books in a year, you can take a much better tour to consider many more reads. In a real example, I just finished reading The Ride of a Lifetime, which is an autobiography of Disney CEO Bob Iger. I immediately bought this book on Amazon's Audible and listened to it at 2 times speed. I was able to listen to this whilst working, cooking, on a journey, whatever it was, and within 2 days I finished the book. The point is, if I had sat down to read this book physically, it may have taken me, 12 hours of dedicated reading, which would have been an actual decision if I wanted to potentially waste 12 hours of my life reading something that I might not have enjoyed. Spoiler, the book is definitely worth a read, and there's some really good nuggets of financial and life lessons to take away. When you can read something fast, you can discover something that may change your life, which you may not have discovered if you could not read or listen as fast, such as Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, which can really change your life. Now the drawbacks. Firstly, I hear that you may not enjoy something as much if you listen to it faster. Now, I don't find this true. Podcasts or TED Ed, for example, you don't need to enjoy. I listen to it to derive some tips and hear the conversation. It does not need to be slow. When it comes to listening to a fantasy like Harry Potter, I did feel the need to listen to it at 1x to really visualize J.K. Rowling's story and her narration as intended. Though I actually enjoyed them a lot more at 2 times or 2.5 times, as most of the book builds up to the actual climax, and you don't need to listen to the full story at 1x. What you can do, or what I do sometimes, is when it comes to the climax, reducing the speed from, let's say, 2.5 times to 1.5 times, so I can savor the story a bit more. So in my opinion, listening to more content at a faster speed does not detract the enjoyment from it. Overall, I feel I gain more value in my life net by being able to listen to even more content in a shorter amount of time. I don't know, I feel I value life more because I'm able to complete more in the same amount of time, or complete the intended Audible content or YouTube clips even quicker, giving me more free time. So the key to doing this is not go into it from 1x straight away to 4x or 6x, especially if you're new into speed listening. It's more about mindfully getting used to it and by challenging yourself to listen slightly faster than you're comfortable, whilst also being able to comprehend the content. You may feel a slight discomfort, and that's probably the best way to go about it, but it's unbelievable the impact this can create if you do this. So yeah, listening to a video or audiobook slightly faster than we are used to will adapt our minds into being able to comprehend and retain the same information we get used to doing it more and more. The same thing is true for typing. We type on our computers every day, but we don't increase typing speed as we are not mindfully practicing, but instead we gain a steady speed until we deliberately try to speed up our words per minute. Ultimately, it becomes more of a pleasure to use the computer as it feels like playing an instrument. However, it is easier than a computer as the computer is doing the work for you. You just need to listen and comprehend. The takeaway is that if you practice the faster listening speeds, you could potentially read through from 5 books a year to perhaps 15 books a year. Now, if you like the idea of listening to things faster, gaining more net value for your time, or if you're not into this, leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts on this.